There is a profound courage in simply showing up in our own lives, in our own skin. The sensual archetype teaches us this. She reminds us that our bodies are not just vessels to carry our brains from meeting to meeting. They are our homes. They are the sacred ground where our entire human experience unfolds. To be sensual is to choose to inhabit this home fully, to feel the texture of the rug under our feet, to taste the sweetness of a fresh strawberry, to hear the rhythm of our own breath. It's a radical act of presence in a world that constantly begs us to be anywhere but here. It's about coming home to ourselves right now, in this moment. This love affair with physical existence is not about vanity or perfection. Far from it. It's about the messy, glorious, and sometimes awkward reality of having a body. It's the deep satisfaction of a good stretch after hours of sitting still, the warmth of the sun on our shoulders, or the simple pleasure of a hot shower after a long, hard day. The sensual archetype doesn't wait for a special occasion to feel good. She finds the sacred in the ordinary. She understands that life is lived in these small, embodied moments. It's a quiet rebellion against the hustle culture that tells us our bodies are projects to be managed rather than experiences to be lived. I remember a time when I was so caught up in deadlines and data that I forgot what it felt like to just be. I was living from the neck up, a disembodied head full of anxieties and to-do lists. It took a friend grabbing my hand and leading me outside to just stand in the grass barefoot to wake me up. The cool, damp earth beneath my feet was a jolt, a reminder of the world that existed beyond my screen. That simple act was an invitation from the sensual within. It was a call to return to my body, to feel the pulse of life that was always there, waiting for me to notice. This is the sensual's first and most important lesson. Our connection to the world begins with our connection to ourselves. It is through our bodies that we experience everything: joy, grief, connection, and solitude. To deny our physical experience is to live a half-life, muted and disconnected. To embrace it is to turn up the volume, to feel the full spectrum of what it means to be alive. It's about choosing to feel the ache in our muscles after a good laugh, the sting of a cool breeze on our cheeks, and the comforting weight of a loved one's hand in ours. It is, in its purest form, an act of loving what is. There's a unique kind of freedom that comes from being fully present. It's the freedom from the ghosts of yesterday and the anxieties of tomorrow. The sensual archetype is a master of this freedom. She lives in the vibrant, pulsating reality of the now. This isn't about ignoring the past or failing to plan for the future. It's about understanding that the only place life truly happens is in this exact moment. The joy she feels is not a far-off destination to be earned through hard work and sacrifice. It is a spring bubbling up from within, accessible whenever she chooses to pay attention. Her playground is the present. This presence is a form of play. Think of a child completely absorbed in building a sandcastle, oblivious to the world around them. That is the sensual's energy. She finds delight in the process, not just the outcome. She can lose herself in the act of cooking a meal, the smell of garlic sizzling in olive oil, the vibrant colors of chopped vegetables, the rhythm of the knife on the cutting board. This focus on the present moment liberates her from the tyranny of shoulds and supposed tos. In the now, there is only the experience itself, rich and full and deeply satisfying. It's where we find our breath and our footing. This commitment to the present is also a source of incredible resilience. When we are fully in the moment, we are not dwelling on past mistakes or catastrophizing about future failures. We are simply dealing with what is right in front of us. The sensual archetype knows that this moment, whatever it holds, is manageable. She can feel the warmth of a cup of tea in her hands even when her heart is heavy. She can notice the beauty of a sunset even on a difficult day. This ability to anchor in the present provides a sense of stability and peace, a quiet confidence that she can handle whatever comes her way because she's grounded in the reality of here and now. Finding this freedom doesn't require a grand retreat or a dramatic life change. It's cultivated in small intentional acts. It's putting down your phone during dinner to truly taste your food and listen to your companion. It's taking a moment to feel the air on your skin when you step outside. It's closing your eyes for 10 seconds to just listen to the sounds around you. The Sensual invites us to practice this presence, to find these pockets of freedom throughout our day. She reminds us that joy isn't something we chase, it's something we allow, right here, right now, by choosing to be fully alive. The Sensual archetype communicates with the world through a language older than words. It's the language of the body, of intuition, of pure sensation. While our culture often prioritizes intellect and logic, she trusts the wisdom of her senses. A gut feeling is not just a passing whim, it's valuable data. A shiver down her spine is a signal worth heeding. She understands that her body is a finely tuned instrument, constantly receiving information from the world around her. To her, a feeling is a fact. It's a truth that deserves to be heard and honored, a compass pointing her toward what is right and true for her. This reliance on intuition gives her a wonderfully earthy and grounded energy. She is connected to the rhythms of nature because she feels them in her own body, the pull of the moon, the shift of the seasons, the energy of a coming storm. This isn't a mystical or abstract concept, it's a tangible reality. She might feel a surge of creative energy in the spring or a need for quiet reflection in the winter. She doesn't fight these natural inclinations, she flows with them. This deep instinctual connection to the earth makes her feel rooted and secure, able to draw strength from the world around her. Her self-expression is raw, honest, and unfiltered. It comes directly from this wellspring of feeling. It might manifest as a spontaneous dance in the kitchen while music is playing, a burst of heartfelt laughter, or a flood of tears that come without apology. She doesn't feel the need to translate her emotions into neat logical explanations. She allows them to be what they are, expressing them in ways that feel true to the moment. This can be disarming to those who are more guarded, but it is also incredibly liberating. It gives others permission to be more fully themselves, to express their own feelings with less shame and more authenticity. We can all learn to speak this language. It starts with paying closer attention to the subtle cues of our own bodies. What does it feel like when you are around someone who energizes you? What sensations arise when you are in a place that feels safe and calming? The Sensual encourages us to become students of our own physical wisdom, to trust that knot in our stomach, to lean into that feeling of expansion in our chest. By learning to listen to the language of sensation, we tap into a deeper, more intuitive way of knowing and navigating the world, one that is both profoundly personal and universally human. True ecstasy is not about a life of uninterrupted happiness. That's a myth. The Sensual archetype knows a deeper truth. Ecstasy is found in the capacity to feel everything. It is the full-bodied experience of being alive, and that includes both the soaring heights of joy and the profound depths of sorrow. She has the courage to keep her heart open to all of it. She understands that to numb ourselves to pain is also to numb ourselves to joy. You cannot selectively mute emotions. To feel deeply is to be vulnerable, and she chooses vulnerability because it is the birthplace of connection, love, and a life of meaning. This embrace of the full emotional spectrum is a testament to her strength. It takes immense courage to sit with grief, to allow sadness to wash over you without trying to fix it or run from it. The Sensual knows that sorrow is not the enemy. It is a sacred part of the human experience. It carves out space in our hearts, and that space can then be filled with an even greater capacity for joy and compassion. She sees beauty in the rain as well as the sunshine, knowing that both are necessary for growth. Her tears are just as honest as her laughter, and she offers both to the world without shame. Think about the most exquisite experiences in life: falling in love, witnessing the birth of a child, creating something beautiful. They are almost always tinged with a sense of vulnerability and awe, a mix of joy so intense it borders on pain. This is the realm of the Sensual. She lives for this beautiful, aching intensity. She would rather feel the sharp sting of a broken heart than never experience the wild, expansive bliss of true love. She chooses to engage with life on its own terms, accepting that light and shadow are inextricably linked. This acceptance is not passive. It is an active, courageous choice to live a wholehearted life. Her wisdom teaches us that a rich life is not a perfect one. It is a life that is fully felt. She invites us to stop chasing an idealized version of happiness and instead cultivate the resilience to be with what is, to find the sweetness in the bittersweet, to let ourselves be moved, to be broken open, to be transformed by the full range of our feelings. Ecstasy, for the sensual, is the ultimate state of presence, a radical acceptance of the beautiful, messy, and magnificent tapestry of human emotion. It's the blend of all of it, and it is breathtaking. The sensual archetype, really thrives in connection, and she often finds her deepest bonds with kindred spirits who share her core values of embodiment, passion, and flow. One of her closest allies is the innocent. The innocent, with her pure trust and wonder, shares the sensual's ability to find delight in the simple things. Together, they can spend an afternoon marveling at the pattern of a leaf or the taste of a sun-ripened tomato. The innocent's unwavering belief in the goodness of life resonates with the sensual's trust in serendipity. Their connection is built on a shared appreciation for the present moment and a joyful, uncomplicated approach to being alive. Another powerful connection is with the fire starter. The fire starter is all about passion, devotion, and purpose. While the sensual experiences life through her senses, the fire starter experiences it through her convictions. When these two archetypes come together, it creates a potent combination of embodied passion. The fire starter provides the spark, the why, and the sensual provides the grounding, the how. The sensual helps the fire starter stay connected to her body and avoid burnout, while the fire starter inspires the sensual to channel her love of life into a focused devotion. Their relationship is one of rapture, a blend of sacred purpose and earthly delight. The water goddess also shares a deep and intuitive bond with the sensual. The water goddess is the mistress of emotions, flow, and the subconscious depths. Like the sensual, she trusts the wisdom of the unseen and moves with the currents of life rather than against them. Both archetypes are deeply feeling and intuitive. The water goddess helps the sensual navigate the deeper, more complex emotional waters, while the sensual helps the water goddess bring her feelings into the physical realm, to express them through touch, movement, and sensory experience. Their connection is fluid, compassionate, and built on a mutual respect for the power of feeling. These relationships highlight the sensual's collaborative nature. She doesn't exist in a vacuum. Her joy is amplified and her purpose is clarified through her connections with others who value a full-hearted, embodied existence. With the innocent, she rediscovers wonder. With the fire starter, she finds devotion. With the water goddess, she explores emotional depth. These kindred archetypes are not just friends, they are mirrors, reflecting back different facets of her own core desire to live a life that is deeply felt, passionately engaged, and beautifully, authentically real. They help her feel seen, understood, and less alone in her quest for ecstasy. There's a beautiful ease to the way the sensual archetype moves through the world. It's a way of being that is rooted in a profound trust in life itself. She doesn't believe in forcing outcomes or wrestling life into submission. Instead, she believes in serendipity, the magic of fortunate discoveries made by accident. This isn't a passive waiting game, it's an active state of openness. By staying present and attuned to her senses, she creates the conditions for happy accidents to occur. She trusts that if she follows her joy, her intuition, and her curiosity, she will be led exactly where she needs to go, at exactly the right time. This trust allows her to let go of the need for rigid plans and detailed 5-year forecasts. While she can be practical, she knows that the most beautiful moments in life are often the ones we could never have planned. A chance encounter with a stranger who becomes a dear friend, stumbling upon a hidden garden in the middle of a bustling city, Hearing a piece of music that changes your perspective, these are the moments the sensual lives for. She understands that life has its own rhythm and its own intelligence. Her job is not to control it, but to dance with it, to be available for its surprising and delightful invitations. This belief in serendipity is deeply connected to her practice of being present. When you are constantly rushing toward the next thing, your head down and your mind full, you miss the magic that is unfolding right in front of you. The sensual keeps her head up. She notices the interesting storefront. She makes eye contact with the person smiling at her. She listens to the snippet of conversation that sparks an idea. Her openness to the moment is a magnet for opportunity and connection. She co-creates her reality with the universe, trusting that life will provide the raw materials if she simply shows up with an open heart and attentive senses. Cultivating this trust is a practice of letting go. It's about releasing our white-knuckled grip on control and allowing for a little more faith. It's trusting that even a wrong turn might lead to a beautiful view. The sensual teaches us that we don't have to have it all figured out. We just have to stay open. We just have to be willing to be surprised. By trusting in the unfolding of life, we trade the anxiety of micromanagement for the joy of discovery. We learn to see life not as a problem to be solved, but as a wonderful and mysterious adventure to be savored. The sensual archetype brings incredible gifts not only to her own life but to the lives of everyone she touches. Her most radiant strength is her profound capacity for joy. This isn't a superficial happiness, but a deep, resilient joy that comes from her full-bodied engagement with life. She finds pleasure in the smallest details and can transform a mundane moment into something sacred and celebratory. Her joy is contagious. It reminds others of their own capacity for delight and gives them permission to savor the good things in life without guilt or apology. She is a beacon of lightheartedness in a world that can often feel heavy. Another of her core strengths is her remarkable adaptability. Because she is so grounded in the present moment and trusts the flow of life, she can navigate change with grace and ease. She doesn't cling rigidly to plans or expectations. When circumstances shift, she shifts with them, using her intuition and senses to find the best path forward. This flexibility makes her a calming presence in times of uncertainty. She embodies the wisdom of the willow tree, which bends in the wind rather than breaking. Her adaptability isn't a lack of conviction. It's a deep understanding that life is dynamic and that resilience comes from flowing with it, not fighting against it. Intimacy is another of her beautiful gifts. The sensual creates deep, meaningful connections with others because she is willing to be fully present with them. She listens with her whole body, not just her ears. She offers the comfort of a reassuring touch or a shared, heartfelt laugh. Her relationships are not transactional. They are built on a foundation of genuine presence and authentic emotional expression. People feel seen and accepted by her because she meets them exactly where they are, without judgment. She knows that true connection happens in the vulnerable, embodied spaces between people. Finally, her greatest strength is the synthesis of all these qualities. Her profound sense of connection. She is connected to her own body, to the earth, to the present moment, to other people, and to the flow of life itself. This interconnectedness is the source of her wisdom, her joy, and her resilience. She reminds us that we are not isolated individuals but are part of a vast, beautiful web of life. Her very being is an invitation to step out of our heads and into our hearts, to feel our connection to the world, and to experience the deep sense of belonging that comes from living a fully embodied, present, and joyful life. Even the most vibrant archetypes have their shadows, and the sensual is no exception. These challenges are not flaws, but rather the flip side of her greatest strengths. One of her primary struggles is the risk of overindulgence. Her deep love for sensory pleasure, delicious food, beautiful things, comfortable surroundings can sometimes tip into excess. When she is feeling disconnected or emotionally overwhelmed, she may use sensory experiences as a way to numb out rather than to connect. The challenge for her is to learn the difference between savoring and self-medicating, between pleasure that enriches her life and indulgence that becomes a form of escape. Another significant challenge is the potential for a sensory overload. Because she is so open and attuned to the world around her, she can easily become overwhelmed in environments that are chaotic, loud, or harsh. The constant influx of sensory data can be exhausting, leading to irritability, anxiety, or a complete shutdown. The sensual must learn to be a fierce guardian of her own energy. This means setting boundaries, saying no to overwhelming situations, and intentionally creating pockets of quiet and solitude to recharge her sensitive system. Learning to manage her environment is crucial for her well-being. Perhaps her deepest challenge is a fear of vulnerability, which might seem paradoxical for such a deeply feeling archetype. While she is comfortable with the expression of joy and even righteous anger, the more tender emotions associated with deep intimacy can feel threatening. To truly let someone in, to risk the profound pain of heartbreak or betrayal, requires a level of emotional exposure that can feel terrifying. Her challenge is to trust that her capacity to feel joy is directly linked to her willingness to risk sorrow. She must learn that true connection requires her to be vulnerable not just in her expression of pleasure, but in her willingness to share her fears and her heart's deepest aches. Navigating these shadows is a crucial part of the sensual's journey toward wholeness. It requires self-awareness and self-compassion. She must learn to approach her tendencies toward overindulgence not with shame, but with curiosity about what unmet need she is trying to fill. She must honor her sensitivity as a gift, not a weakness, and take practical steps to protect it. And she must find the courage to lean into the vulnerability of true intimacy, trusting that her heart is resilient enough to handle both the ecstasy and the agony of deep connection. This work transforms her challenges from liabilities into sources of profound wisdom and self-understanding. Ultimately, the sensual archetype finds her purpose not in grand achievements or public accolades, but in the rich tapestry of her relationships. Her reason for being is connection, connection to self, to others, and to life itself. It is through these bonds that she experiences the ecstasy she craves. A shared meal becomes a sacred ritual. A conversation becomes a dance of souls. A quiet moment with a loved one becomes a universe of feeling. She understands that the quality of her life is measured by the quality of her connections. Her purpose is to love and be loved, to feel and be felt, to see and be seen. This purpose redefines what it means to live a meaningful life. In a culture that often equates purpose with career or ambition, the sensual offers a different path. Her path suggests that purpose can be found in the way we show up for the people we love, in the kindness we offer a stranger, in the care we take with our own bodies and spirits. Her work in the world is to be a conduit for joy, presence, and authentic connection. She teaches us that we don't have to change the world to have a purpose. We can find it by deeply and beautifully inhabiting the small corner of the world we occupy. Her greatest gift to the world is delight. She is a master of it. She finds it, she creates it, and she shares it freely. This is not a trivial thing. In a world that is often serious, stressful, and overwhelming, the ability to access and share delight is a radical act of hope and healing. It is a reminder that even amidst hardship, there is still beauty to be found, pleasure to be had, and joy to be felt. The sensual's delight is a form of grace, a light that illuminates the goodness that is always present, even when it's hard to see. She helps us all transcend the seriousness of life. In the end, the journey of the sensual is about moving beyond the idea that life is a problem to be solved or a race to be won. It is about embracing life as an experience to be savored. She embodies a profound freedom, the freedom to be playful, to be present, to be deeply feeling, and to be unapologetically alive. She shows us that ecstasy is not a fleeting peak experience, but a way of being in the world, a way that is grounded in the body, guided by the heart, and dedicated to the beautiful, messy, and magnificent art of connection. Her life is her message. Be here now. Feel it all, and don't forget to delight in the ride.